Welcome viewers, this is Danny from LEGO Buff Productions, here with the first of many updates on my new MOC. Yes, that is right, I am back to MOC building, back to building large-scale LEGO Star Wars bases. I am excited, I hope you guys are too, to start this series. So this is not going to be like the typical MOC building series you see with the Brick Wiz, with Solid Brick Studios, with the Rich Boy J. It's not going to be any talking heads of camera really on me unless I'm explaining a technique. They should be pretty short, hopefully 5 to 8 minutes. That's really what I'm shooting for. And they should be coming once a week. I'll shoot for Saturdays. They might come out earlier or later. We'll have to see. So I'm going to take you into what this MOC is going to look like and my plans for it right now. I've had the idea for this MOC for several years now. I'm finally excited to be able to work on it now. This entire time it's been the idea of a droid base in my mind. I briefly considered making it a clone base when I started building it, but I have stuck to the idea of making it a droid base. So I'm going to use this software here. It's called Blue Brick. It's free. I'll hopefully put a link down in the description if you want to check it out. I've used this to plan out convention displays in the past, but as you can see, I have 2x5 gray base plates, making a total of 10 gray base plates, making it my largest MOC I've ever built. And so like I said, it's going to be a droid base. On the back section here will be a hangar. So it'll be just basically this large platform that you'll have several separatist shuttles and several vulture droids, maybe throwing a few other ships there. These will all be custom built ships. I will not be using instructions from existing models or using Lego sets. I will be using custom built ships by me. Then in the front part, there'll be an underground hangar area where all these ships will be stored. There'll be Corporate Alliance tank droids as well as AATs down there, maybe a few STAPs as well. So there will be an elevator underground then that will elevate those tanks and the speeders up to ground level, which is where there'll be it's almost like the shape of a wall that will take up kind of the middle section of the MOC on top. And so the outside aircraft hangar area, landing zone basically, will be above ground, and this wall type base structure, it'll have a few rooms in it, so I guess you could call it a base. That'll be in the middle, and then there'll be some sort of terrain in front, and then below the terrain and the base part itself will be that hangar with the elevator. Now the cool part is there's also a monorail that will be going around that'll basically transport troops or any other things that land at the landing area down below ground to the hangar. So the monorail will go up and will go down, so it'll change elevation, and there are some curved parts to it obviously to curve around. So I'm really excited to work on this design. So going back to the physical MOC, you can see I have a bunch of Lego sets out here. This is really just to get an idea for scale of how big I need to make things, where I need to put different structures and stuff. Again, I will be using all custom stuff. If I do end up using a gunship, I will use instructions for it, probably from Lego Spencer, assuming he finishes them by then from his custom gunship, because it is incredible. But other than that, all videos or all other custom ships will be made by me. So the few things I want to show you in this episode are the monorail, the lift structure, lift/elevator, and how I'm going to do the terrain over the hangar. And there you can see this beautiful monorail. We actually talked about this in the last Rebel Roundtable over on the Rebel YouTube channel, but I did get this idea from another YouTuber. I will link him down below. I'm not going to try to say his name because I'm going to botch it. But he had this really cool design for this monorail, and he's been using it for a bunch of different builds, and he has tons of instructions of how to build the track, how to build the different configurations with power functions, or powered up the new system. So anyways, I recreated his design, and it works for the setup I have right now. There are a lot of tweaks I want to make to it, but for now I'm just keeping it simple. So I'm just going to stick with his design until I'm ready to come back to the monorail and really polish it off. So just giving you a quick look at what's in it. I have these Technic bricks in the front to act as a weight to hold the front down so it doesn't pop off the tracks. And then you can see there's 2 wheels here. This motor powers this gear assembly right there. And so by turning it turns all these gears, which powers both of the wheels. So this front car is fully powered, and then the back car is just holding the battery and then the IR receiver, which allows me to use the remote that comes with power functions. Like I said, the idea at first was really just to build something that works, so I knew that I had a monorail that would work, and then build the track out so I knew how to space things out. And then once that's done, I will be returning to the monorail much later in this series to polish off all the little design flaws that I want to kind of fix up and tailor it really towards this mock instead of just a general monorail. So I'll be returning to that, but I have much more important things to get to first. And that higher priority is going to be designing the inside of this hangar, particularly the lift and how the terrain will attach to the top of the hangar. So I'm using this design right here for the lift right now. I might come across a better design in the future, but this is currently what I'll be going with. And it is called something like the scissor lift. And so basically what I'll be using are these Technic lift arms with some Technic pins going through them there. I'm using the light bluish gray ones, these, which have less clutch power than the black ones, making it easier, less friction basically to move up. So how it would work is the top, it basically folds up and down like this. So lower tanks go on top of the platform, and then this will raise up to the ground level. And how I'm planning to power that is having a motor push in this yellow bar right here. And you can see as I push this in, it goes up. If I pull it back, it goes down. And then I could put something easy, like a platform on it right here. Obviously, I would need a few of these assemblies underneath the platform to be able to lift the weight, because that's the key thing here is I'm dealing with heavy objects. I was using this AAT Lego set as a sample weight, so I have some heavy objects that I'll be dealing with, as well as just the fact of being able to push in, the amount of pressure that's required to get this initial push right there. See, once it's up, it easily shoots up, but getting that initial push in is rather difficult. So I'll be looking at a few different designs online to see what I can come up with, but this is the current assembly I'm working with. And then the other thing that I mentioned is how I'm going to attach this kind of ground level stuff over here. So let me take you through that. So the current design I'm going with is I'm using these just as temporary supports, not as the final product, is these 1x6x5 panel pieces that have the X through it. I got 100 of these on lug bulk, so I have plenty to mess around with. But this is what they look like. And so the thing I love about these as opposed to just regular panel pieces, so like a regular panel, when you put them together, they're like this, but let's say the structure's flimsy or whatever, and you accidentally bump it, boom, comes detached right away, falls apart. However, the way these work, if I can find, here we go, one of the regular structures, is that there's these Technic axle holes inside of them. And so you can take these Technic red axle pieces and put them in there. And so then when you stack them, you can see you bump it, you can't hit it off. It's really solid in there. And that also makes it easier to attach structures. You can see I'm putting in through some Technic axles in the top here to connect these Technic bars. So what I'm planning to do for this overall section, if I zoom out a little bit here, you can see that a little bit better, is I'm planning to have these beams go across these crossbars. Right now I'm kind of set on going this direction. I may end up choosing and going the other way, but I think this will work the best. I will have some sort of connecting Technic bricks in between, something like this, they would go actually underneath it to connect them, just to add some more stability and some more connection points to the ground. So this would cover the entire hangar, and then I can also install, I'm going to be using a lot of lights. I used Light My Bricks. I placed an order with them quite a while ago through Rebelug, and so I'll be able to easily fit lights in through these Technic holes, these pinholes. And then the key for using the structure idea is connecting the top layer. So my current plan is to do something like putting these Technic pin, these 2x2 plates right here that have the Technic pin on the bottom of them. Obviously I would have a much more secure structure than just throwing on some of these 4x4 plates underneath it. But if you do something like this, right, where you have these pieces on here, then they can easily connect to that Technic structure. And I'll show you that close up. And there's a closer look at these pin pieces, and you can see I line it up right here, and then I just apply some pressure, and boom, it pops in. Then obviously you can see there's a few that came detached, but I would basically pop them all down, and then that's how this top layer would be attached. So I hope you enjoyed that overview of my initial progress. Now I'll be discussing of what I will be working on between now and the episode next week. My main and only objective between now and next episode will be working on this lift design. This is crucial to the design of the MOC because first of all, it's going to dictate how this kind of surface layer is going to look, because I got to figure out if I'm going to have the terrain drop down and then go back up, or a lift underneath kind of push up the terrain. So that's going to judge how I design this entire top part. So I can't really come up with that terrain design until I figure out how the lift is exactly going to work and function alongside it. I also need to determine, how many motors I'm going to need, where I need to hide different lift arms and motors and battery boxes and all that stuff. So that'll all be in this hanger part. So I can't start designing this hanger or where I'm going to put the support posts, where I'm going to put stuff, until I determine where I need to hide all of the mechanics that will be powering the lift. And that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment down below any thoughts or suggestions you have. I'm excited to be back to building, and I'm always open to new ideas for these MOCs. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out my channel for some other awesome LEGO videos, and have a great day.